I found a couple of videos that I recovered off of my busted laptop. They're from the fall, so like September or October. So some of the timelines that I talk about in the videos are a little outdated, but the content is still interesting and I hope you find it entertaining.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to another episode of Diary of a Happy Black Woman Solo Chronicles. This entire series is about being single, and today's question that we're going to be talking about today is, when should I get back into the dating game? When should I start dating again? So this is specifically like when you're coming right out of a breakup. When should you get back into the dating game? Before we jump into our topic today, quick introduction. My pen name is Alexandria Ashcroft. I am a romance and erotic fiction author. I have published stories on Amazon, iBooks, and other retailers out there, as well as the Radish Fiction app, and I post free content on Wattpad. Make sure to sign up for my email list on my website and follow me on socials. I'm most active on Instagram, as well as clicking like and subscribing to my YouTube channel for more awesome content. Now we're going to get into it. When I get into it. I don't know why I'm singing. That's strange. When should you get back into the dating game? Or when should you start dating again? The simple answer is when you're ready. When you're ready to start dating. Maybe a question on that question is, how do I know when I'm ready to start dating? And I did talk about this a little bit in like my first video in the Solo Chronicles, basically the glow up. So after you get done mourning your relationship, I would say this is kind of my like general rule about dating. And I actually use this for partners, potential partners, potentials, I call them. I use this for potentials. You ask people questions and you're fun, you're engaged and all that kind of stuff, but you are digging for information, okay? Don't get it twisted. You are digging for information and you're trying to figure out who this person is and how they tick and whether or not they have whether or not they have your good intentions in heart. So, I'm always digging to see what someone's last relationship was, how it ended, and whether or not, they've been doing the work on themselves since the end of that relationship to prepare them for another relationship. Some people will have been out of a relationship for a period of time, but they haven't been doing any work on themselves in order to make them like a better person, and they're kind of just scorned and bitter and la 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 la. And then they're trying to bring that garbage into a relationship with you, and that's just not gonna work. So dig, pry, ask them questions, like try to be a little discreet about it, make it fun, don't make it an interrogation, but at the same time, um, you're not trying to waste time. So like just you can ask questions, and maybe I'll make a video on like how to ask these questions to get answers. Maybe it's just me, because like people just tell me stuff. I honestly feel like people tell me a lot of unsolicited stuff, like things that I didn't ask for, but it's always interesting information. And I'm not sure why, honestly. People overshare with me all the time. Like my sister even told me this the other day. She was like, "Yeah, you're right. Like people do overshare with you." I'm like, "Yeah, people tell me stuff." I'm like, "Why are you telling me this? Like I didn't ask for this. Like I don't want to know about that." So, but it does prove to be very helpful when you're looking at potential partners. So, I would say this is my rule. I'm talking about this. Um, I would say a month. You should be single for a month for every year you've been with somebody. So if you've been in a relationship with somebody for 2 years, I would say give yourself 2 months to mourn and move on from that relationship. And those are like 2 months where you're actively, pursuing, actively activating your consciousness and waking up to different things about yourself in the relationship, the person, all that kind of stuff. Like you're analyzing for about half of that time. You're not just sitting there waiting, moping for 2 months, and then you pop out there in the streets again. You know what I'm saying? So, and then that's basically the rule that I use for potential partners. So, for example, I was talking to a guy who was in an 8 year relationship. He was married for 8 years. He was with this woman, basically like all of his adult life. Like they met when they were in high school, and they got married and all that kind of stuff. And he was recently ish divorced, but they were together for 8 years. So I was just like, he's gonna need at least 8 months from my, this is me making, at least 8 months um, to heal. And hopefully he's doing the work on himself in the 8 month period where he's able to like heal and move forward. And, I would say that's probably like a medium-ish relationship, a light to medium. If it's a really challenging, tough relationship, they might need a little bit more time. And I would say they might also need to like be talking to somebody, like be in therapy. There's nothing wrong with being in therapy. We don't get in our chest when we're sick or feel a certain type of way when we're sick and we go to see a doctor like an MD. So there's no shame and about taking care of our mental wellness as we do take care of our physical wellness. Like, you have a lump on your breast, you talk to your doctor, and you there's no shame. You're not questioning whether or not, no, you up in that hospital trying to figure out what's going on with you. And I think we should do the same thing when it comes to mental wellness and mental health as well. Because you know what? Like, that kind of trauma can really affect you, and it's definitely going to affect you in the next relationship. Like if a guy is coming out of a relationship with a woman who cheated on him, do you think he's going to have trust issues with you? Yes, he's going to have trust issues with you, even if you don't give him any kind of reason. Like, he has no reason to have trust issues with you other than the fact that he had a partner who cheated on him and he didn't do the work on himself to move past that. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing can go for a woman. Like, you get out of a relationship from a guy who's abusive, or a guy who cheated on you or whatever, and you don't address those issues, you're going to bring that garbage into your next relationship. So yeah, so that's kind of my rule, is giving people time. Time is the healer of all things. Time is the only currency we have, and sometimes we have to pay some of that currency in order to get ourselves into a space where we're ready to accept a partner who we want, who we deserve, and who we want to be with us, and who we want to share space with. So don't be afraid. That's not a waste of time at all by any stretch of the imagination. Do the work on yourself, and expect your partner to do the work on themselves too. I would say don't the captain save a whole complex. They use that term, but don't feel like you are someone's therapist. Like, you are not someone's therapist, and in fact, playing that role makes you less attractive to that person often, because they see you as a therapist, not as a romantic interest. It kind of takes the sexy out of things in some cases, not all, in some cases though. And I'm talking about like the real issues, listening to somebody who's having, troubles with a sibling, or so, like everyday issues are fine, but when it's like those deep, deep, deep seated struggles and issues that people are going through, and it's things that affect them, their sexuality, their sex drive, their how they interact with people, how they interact with partners, how they treat people, like those are things that they need to handle on their own before they come into your world. So that's me babbling on that. So when should you get out into the dating world? When should you start dating again? When you're ready. When you've gotten to the point where you're like, you know what? if I had to be single for another week, month, year until I die, I could do that because I love myself and I'm having fun. I'm doing things that I love and that are interesting to me. But you know what? I want a partner right now. I want to share my life with somebody else. Then that's when you're ready, not when you're like, oh my God, it's been months and I'm desperate and I need somebody. I need somebody. Like it's just been too long. Oh, you gonna find somebody, all right. You gonna find somebody that you don't want who's going to turn your life into a trash fire. So date in your glow, boo. And I talk all about that in my first video in my solo chronicles. So make sure to check that out. 5 reasons why I love being single. I think that's all I have on this topic for today. If you're thinking about getting out on the dating scene again, please let me know. Or if you're coming out of a long relationship and it's been a little bit and you're thinking about going out into the dating scene, then make sure you drop a comment and let's talk about it. If you want to have more private conversations with me, you can definitely email me. I personally, at this point in my life, I check my email. So Alex at alexandriaashcroft.com. You can email me and we can have a little chitter chatter back and forth. So thank you so much for tuning in and I will see you in the next video. Bye.